In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove objects in Photoshop using Generative Fill, which is one of the easiest and most powerful ways to clean up an image. This method is especially useful when you're dealing with complex backgrounds because Photoshop can intelligently rebuild the space behind the object and make the edit look natural. If you want fast, realistic object removal without spending forever cloning and healing by hand, this is the technique to know. And before we jump in, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more Photoshop tutorials just like this. Alright, let's get started. First, open Photoshop and load the image you want to edit. Once your image is open, look at the Layers panel and select your image layer. Before making any changes, it's a smart idea to convert that layer into a smart object. This helps protect your original image data and gives you a safer, non-destructive workflow. To do that, right-click the layer and choose Convert to Smart Object. Now your image is ready for editing, while still keeping your original details intact underneath. Next, choose the Lasso tool by pressing L on your keyboard. The Lasso tool is perfect for selecting irregular objects because you can draw a freehand selection around the area you want to remove. Carefully trace around the object, but don't cut it too tight. Leave a small amount of space or background buffer around the edges of the object. This extra room helps Photoshop understand the surrounding texture, lighting, and pattern, which makes the generated result much more realistic. If you rush this step, Photoshop may struggle to blend the edit properly, so take your time and make a clean, loose selection. Once your selection is complete, a floating contextual taskbar should appear below your selection. This bar gives you quick access to the most useful editing tools for your selection. From here, click Generative Fill. This is the feature that will allow Photoshop to rebuild the selected area automatically using AI. After you click it, you'll see a prompt box appear. Now here's the important part. Leave the text prompt completely blank. Do not type Remove Object, do not type Replace with Background, and do not add extra instructions. In this case, leaving the prompt empty tells Photoshop to perform a pure contextual removal. That means it will focus on filling the space based on the pixels, textures, and lighting around the selection, instead of trying to invent something unnecessary. A blank prompt often gives you the cleanest and most natural looking result, especially when you just want the object gone. After that, click Generate. Photoshop will process the selection and create a new generative layer. In the Properties panel, you'll usually get 3 different variations to choose from. This is where the magic happens because Photoshop gives you multiple background options that match the scene in different ways. Take a moment to review each version carefully. One variation might blend the pavement better, another might handle shadows more naturally, and another might create a cleaner texture match overall. Pick the one that looks most believable and fits the rest of the image best. If none of the first results are perfect, you can generate again or adjust your selection slightly and retry. Sometimes the best result comes from expanding the selection a little more, especially if the object has shadows or reflections around it. For more complex scenes, a little patience goes a long way. The goal is to make the edit look like the object was never there in the first place. This is why Generative Fill is so powerful for object removal in Photoshop. It works especially well on busy backgrounds like streets, walls, grass, interiors, and textured surfaces, where traditional retouching tools can take much longer. Instead of manually cloning pixels for every detail, Photoshop does the heavy lifting for you and gives you a realistic starting point in seconds. So to quickly recap, select your layer, convert it to a smart object, use the Lasso tool to make a loose selection around the object, click Generative Fill from the Contextual taskbar, keep the prompt blank, and then generate your new background options. From there, choose the best variation and you're done. That's how you remove objects in Photoshop using Generative Fill the smart way. If this tutorial helped you out, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more easy Photoshop tips and editing tutorials. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.